What's happening, guys? Welcome to the little bit later than normal live stream today. I had a few things to do, so I kind of had to push back the stream, but I wanted to turn something. So today we're going to be turning one of these Crinkle Ornament wine stopper blanks. I want to see how they turn. There was a little bit of a kind of a crack looking thing. I don't know. Some of you guys might have seen this in some blanks that are clear where there's kind of, it looks like a crack. A lot of times that's like a moisture issue. It could be an adhesion issue. It can be an overheating issue. Honestly, I don't know exactly what it is. But I did see a couple of those in these, and I wanted to turn these and see how they turned out. We got through the pen blank with no problems, really. So I wanted to turn one of these up. This is kind of a prelude to the sphere blank. Actually, let me go get that. I have a sphere blank with these crinkles in it that I want to turn, and I'm thinking that the stopper will give me a good idea, somewhat of an idea. Come on, focus. It never wants to focus for me. There we go, kind of. Anyway, so we got a big one that maybe I might start on that on Wednesday. I'm not sure, but either way, I thought we could knock one of these guys out pretty quick today and see how they turn. So pretty excited. Now for the last Friday's patron stream, we made some kind of funky blanks. We did a golf theme. Josh sent in some golf tees, and I came up with the idea of putting in some of the Easter grass with this, and I thought that they turned out pretty awesome. So I'm excited about those. Those turned out pretty good. There was one thing that I totally didn't think about. There might have, and I'm seeing some kind of those shiny spots on the tees here and there. I totally forgot to dry out the tees. They're wooden. And so that might have been a moisture issue, maybe, but I got no bubbles or anything like that. That can be a pretty common problem with things like colored pencils, which are wood. A lot of people don't realize you need to dry them out first. Otherwise, they kind of bubble out of the tips. So didn't get any of that, but they are painted on the outside as well. So it could have been some sort of a weird adhesion thing. I don't know. But I think those are going to be fine. The other thing, we cast some plastic Jax toys. And these, I don't know how these are going to work out. Can you guys see the chipping that kind of happened right here and here? So we'll have to see. This one, I don't really have a lot of confidence that these will work. However, you know, like I always say, CA glue while you're turning, maybe before you're turning. You know, a lot of times that will help you get through kind of tough materials. In this case, they were a plastic, which sometimes smooth plastics just don't really work that well. They don't adhere to the resin. There's nothing for the resin to actually adhere to, because the way resins work, they don't, it's not like they, you know, magically bond to things. It's not like some kind of magnetic or electromagnetic bond. They bond through mechanical, you know, ways. So, you know, for like wood's got a bunch of pores in it, and the resin can actually kind of grab onto that. So if you're casting something that's smooth, you're better off scuffing up the surface. This also goes with if you're casting multiple layers of resin. It's not going to stick to itself. I don't care which kind of resin you're using. It doesn't stick to itself, or it doesn't stick to smooth surfaces. So if you have waited more than 24 hours, so in the case of some resins, if you do it right away, it has a pretty good possibility of bonding to itself without touching it or doing anything. But if you've cast something and then you set it aside for a day or two, and then you wanted to pour more stuff on it, then you're best off scuffing up the top with some, you know, 120, 80 grit sandpaper. That'll give the resin something to stick to. So in some cases, though, it's not like I was going to sit there and sand every one of those jack things. Maybe you could put it in like some kind of a tumbler or something. That's something that I thought of. Honestly, it's probably not even worth my time. It's kind of what in the end, is what I come like the conclusion I draw. Also, I want to mention, if you haven't seen the recent video I put up on Sunday of the graffiti blank technique, you have a chance to win this set of molds in a demold rack from Turner's Warehouse. So make sure to check out that video. And I also want to mention, I've been seeing a lot of people, you have to put a code word. So the way that this works, the way that the drawing is going to work, I'm using a piece of software that I enter a term, and I literally spelled out what you need to put in your comment. It's hashtag Dunkin' Junk. All one thing. And that's what search term I'm going to use in the software to find a comment to pick a winner. If you haven't put it the right way, then I'm not going to pick you. So I want to make sure if you have, go back to your comment if you've already left one, and just double check that you've written it out correctly. It's literally hashtag, the pound sign, Dunkin' Junk, all one word, not dunk and junk, 3 words, or something else. It has to be hashtag Dunkin' Junk. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that you don't get upset if you don't win. I know Doug's probably upset at me for telling everyone, but there's only been like 3 people that did it right so far. So I just want to make sure that you've done that correctly. If you haven't entered, make sure you follow the proper format. Otherwise, my picker can't pick you. It literally, you're technically disqualifying yourself. So anyway, oh, Anna, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. We're having fun here. We're doing some stuff. So let me stop here real quick and see what, there's a lot of chat. I got to move this thing closer. Come here. Come to me. Move this one too so I can make sure that I'm on camera here. All right, so I can't see anymore. This screen, I need a big screen in here or something. So Doug and Jen are here. Nice. Christina's here. Sweet. Yeah, you're still awake. Oh, at least it's after work though for you. And who else? Dave's here. Anna, of course. Amber, how's it going? Amber's my newest top-level super chat, or not super chat, patron. One of, not the newest. Actually, somebody just joined today, but one of the newest. She got a shout out in the last video. And Daryl and Joel. Nice. Lots of people. I'm glad that you guys showed up. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to show up. I was so late today. Why are you using one hand? That's no fun. Did you hurt yourself? Yeah, I love these tees. And actually, I was hoping I would get this in time before casting that. I probably shouldn't mess around. I only have so much time today, but I got an even cooler surprise. I ordered these, but I didn't get them in time to do them. They're little mini golf ball bead things. Now, once again, these are super smooth and shiny, so you know, we'll have to see how that works. But I'm going to put tees and balls with the grass, and I thought that'd be kind of fun. So I'm waiting to do one of those for myself down the road. But I was pretty excited, and I got to be honest, I'm very pleased with myself. I didn't even think about this when I came up with it. I just thought it'd be smart to put grass, you know, like the Easter grass. I thought that would go with golf theme. But the brilliant part about it is if you push that down in the mold, you can stick the tees in and they don't move or do anything, because otherwise they would have just kind of probably sunk to the bottom. So it actually it had kind of 2 purposes. You can kind of arrange them exactly how you want them. And so it was a pretty interesting idea. I never really thought about using another material to support other things that I'm putting in in a cast. So lots of fun stuff on that one. And I'll have that replay of me casting all that stuff up probably, I don't know, as soon as I can get it up. I need to edit. What I do is we do the patron thing, and you need to be a patron to access the live stream part. And the reason for that is the second half of it is a live Q&A hangout. And that was kind of my give back to everybody that's on Patreon. So that's kind of the important part, and that's for the patrons. But what I do is I take the demo out, I edit that out, and so that'll be live for anybody to see down the road. So that way you don't totally miss out on what's going on, but it is a little bit late. Daryl's here, nice. All right, so I'm Michael, how's everything going? Things are going pretty good here. It was busy. I've been really busy. Those the autism puzzle piece blanks have been, like, I gotta be honest, that is by far the most popular blank that I've introduced ever. Like, I got so many orders from those. It's been awesome, but I still haven't actually caught up to the orders that came in. They're still like on back order, but I think this week, I think I should have them caught up finally. And Valerie's from Utah, nice. And Everett's here, what's up? All right, so let me scroll down and just make sure I'm not missing anything, because she's special. Doug, I don't know. It probably went to the P.O. box. I haven't checked it. So it probably is there, but the problem is we don't actually have an address where we live. We live in an apartment above somebody's garage, so we don't actually have our own address, and our landlord doesn't love us getting a ton of packages, so we have a P.O. box, but that's the opposite direction from my shop in town where we live. So I'll have to go and check that out this week and get it. Let's see, dinner's ready. Nice. Your phone's messed up. All right, so it looks like I'm on top of everything. Ron's from New Jersey. Nice. Cool. All right. So, and there's Russell. Actually, I was debating whether to do your pen today or not, but I kind of really wanted to get on this because there's other things I wanted to test this out to see how the sphere thing, would go. So anyway, let's get going here. So it's a bottle stopper, and I'm going to use one of the stainless bottle stopper hardware pieces as well as their universal mandrel. I really like that thing. So let's switch camera views. I got to look over here to that's not the right one. This one. So I've switched it around again, and we're trying a different camera position. But it should work pretty good, I think. Oh, whoa, my floor is slick. Oh my God, I almost slipped and fell and died. I'm going to get a link for anybody that hasn't seen the video to get entered into that drawing. So just in case somebody hasn't seen it, or if you want to check and make sure that you've followed the proper, entered the proper code word thing, there's the link. All right, so here we go. We got a chuck set up. And what I'm going to do, we're gonna mount this in the chuck, and I'm going to hit it with the Forstner bit to put a perpendicular and flat spot on here. I'm using I think a 1-inch Forstner bit. Can't really see what I'm doing. Let me do that. Okay. So let's get this thing locked into our Easy Chuck. Oh man, I love the Easy Chuck. This was the greatest acquisition. They did give it to me, but this was one of the greatest things I've ever gotten. So we got it locked in there. Like I said, we're gonna Forstner bit it, and then we're gonna drill and tap threads. And then I was talking about stainless bottle stoppers has their universal mandrels, and there's a lot of kit things like stoppers and pizza cutters and all kinds of different things that use all the same types of setup with their hardware's 3/8/16. And so you can use this mandrel, and then they also have these little sleeves that they're like bushings, or I should say that they're bushings, kind of like pen kits, where this one's set up for their stopper sizes. Let me take off the thing here. So the bushing is set up to be the right diameter, so you don't have to guess at that. And they have different ones for different kits. I'm pretty sure the universal mandrel comes with all the stuff you need, all the different bushings and all that stuff. It's a pretty slick setup. So let me see if I can do this without standing right in front of the camera. I didn't think about this. Hold on, guys. Hold everything. I didn't really think about what I was doing there. I think we're going to kind of put you guys right here. I think that should work. All right, let me get some glasses on. Oh, I need to get my phone out so I can see the chat. I really need to do something about, there is a slick spot, a few of them on my floor. Jeez, I'm going to die one of these days. All right, so where are we at here? YouTube. Let me get to my video. Stream, I should say. My channel. And there we go. Oh, good. It's already on mute. All right. So here we go. We don't have an Easy Chuck. Well, I would go and buy one if you don't have one already. It's the best chuck. Because I used to have, I like the quick change ones, but I used to have the Nova. They have I think it's called the Infinity, and I don't like, compared to the Infinity, the Easy Chuck is way better, I think. One of the biggest complaints I have about the Nova chucks is that when you tighten them, I'm I don't know. I don't know if this is an American thing or something, but if I'm tightening, it's righty-tighty, right? And theirs are backwards, and I just, every single time, it just drove me nuts. And I finally, the reason I have this is because I asked Easy Wood Tools, I'm like, does your Easy Chuck tighten righty-tighty? And they're like, yes. And I was like, oh man, I got to get one of those. And they said, well, we'll send you one. Tell us what you think. All right, so all you need to do here is just get it flat. You don't need to drill into this thing, a ways or anything like that. All we're doing is putting a flat on here so that it's perpendicular, so that we get a flat, even like joint, I guess, with the hardware. So it'll lay flat on there without any gaps. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but hopefully. Hopefully you figured out what I was talking about. And then so this is a 3/8/16 threaded, like, well, the mandrel and the hardware. And so we're going to be using, I believe it's the 5/16 drill bit. I don't even think this one says what it is. Yeah, 5/16 is what I use for this. And let's see here. Let me put this in. I have a little mark on my bit to tell me how deep I need to go. That always helps. So this one's kind of a stubby drill bit made for this type of thing. I want to say that I might have gotten that from stainless bottle stoppers, actually. It might have come with the mandrel. So stubbies are nice. You don't have to worry about them wandering, like, pretty much at all. And so this one's just made for drilling these things out. Now you could maybe paint the inside of this if you don't want to see the threads. And there's a lot of people that feel very strongly about not seeing the threads. I'm on the opposite side of the fence with that. Frankly, I actually think it's cool seeing the threads. So I just leave it. And it's a lot of things I do because I just flat out don't really want to mess with it. Kind of laziness. This is really not actually, it doesn't fall under that category. I actually like being able to see the mechanical threads, how this thing is kind of put together. So I have a 3/8/16 tap here. So I'm just gonna tap our threads. Guess I could use the hand wheel thing. Anybody help me out? There's the opposite one that's supposed to help you start your threads. In this case, everything's set up and rock solid, so I can just kind of start out with a bottoming tap and not have to worry about it. There we go. Tends to want to kind of pull out when I get to the bottom. There we go. And I think one thing that you could do to maybe help, I think one of the reasons people don't like the look of the threads is because they become a little bit frosty kind of colored, and so they don't, it's not appealing to some people. I think one thing that you could do to improve that is to use some sort of a lubricant when you're cutting the threads. That could help out a little bit. Make sure, yeah, okay, good. You guys can see. And I seem to have lost, they come with a little washer, each one of these bushing sets, and I don't have my 13/16, I think is what this one is. So I'm just using a smaller one. I don't think it's going to make any difference. But got that thing on there. So let's flip it around and then we'll start turning this thing up. All right. right, so let me put a few things away that I'm already done with and don't need to be out. The water spins backwards. Oh, man. All right. All right. So I think we're going to move this thing a little bit over here. At this point, I think we should be good. I think that ought to be... Let's just get it centered up a little bit. Okay. So, get my 6-inch rest ready. And get things rolling here. So I'm going to knock the edges down. I like using cutting tools for square blanks. I'm going to pull out the face shield on this one for sure as well. And I'm also going to put the dust collector in there. So hopefully that's not... Yeah, that shouldn't mess up anybody's view, really. You can kind of still see what I'm doing. And let's see here. Sweet. The beard, what's up? Oh, man. Joining the late stream, huh? Thanks for coming out. Now, another thing that will also help, I used to not use a tailstock. I used to not use tailstock support when I was doing stoppers, and you get a lot of chatter usually. So I think it's a good thing to do. All right, so we got that going. Let's get our tailstock up here. Question is, what kind of shape am I going to put on this? I haven't even thought about it. They're a little bit shorter than sometimes my stoppers are a little bit longer, but it'll be kind of a stubby guy. But let me think about this. I think I'm just going to kind of one of the designs that I do a lot of times. Let me pull. I have some in a box somewhere. Let me look at a design really quickly. I'm going for simple. I don't want to do too much with this thing. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to kind of flare it out at the bottom and then just pretty much round it over, kind of like a little, almost looks like a doorknob. And then just kind of bring it down in and taper it down in the bottom. So pretty simple, no big deals there. Hit you on the hand. Oh man, that sounds like it hurts. Oh. Ouch. Okay. One thing I need to do before I begin, actually, I'm going to touch up this tool. Touch up the edge on it. With my new 600 grit wheel. I'm not sure that it's totally necessary to go 600. I think 400 or 3, whatever the next one down. I think that's most likely plenty high grit. Plenty high. Oh. There we go. One thing that I would really like to get, eventually I want to get the entire Kodiak base system. I really like their setup. Everything just kind of locks in place. There's no guessing. But I really want to get one of those tool holders that holds it in place, because I'm just not awesome with the original, I'm not sure, Versa grind thing, or what do they call this? I don't even know what it's called. This thing doesn't lock in and hold the position. All right. Let me look at my computer screen real quick. Yeah, it looks plenty bright enough, I think, for you guys. A little bit high there. So far, so good. So again, because there's aluminum in here, not a good idea to a lot of times when it's slowing down, we tend to want to touch the turning thing. Probably not the greatest idea, just in case there's some piece of metal sticking out. That'll cut you up pretty good. All right, we got it rounded. Everything's looking good so far. I think I'm going to switch to the #1 hollower at this point. I think we'll be good to go there. Got the corners knocked down. We're looking good. Wow, there's lots of people here. Crosscuts here. Steve. Nice. Terry. Cool. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, I was going to turn on the dust collector. He's having that nozzle sitting right there. If it's not on. So, like I said, there was like a little crack thing looking, something going on in the blank. And I forgot to look and see where that was located. Let's see if I can find it now. There it is, right there. I'm going to get you guys in here and try and show you what I'm oh my God, I got cords and unplug that. Okay. Let's see if I can show you guys what is going on with this thing from here. I'm going to turn that light off. Okay. So I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there's these kind of there's a funkiness going on right here. And it looks kind of like the blank is cracked. In fact, I can actually feel there's a crack right there. So again, I don't know if it maybe was a little bit of moisture. If I've seen sometimes where metal can kind of overheat the resin. Maybe it had something to do with the dye that's on top of there. I have no clue. But what I'm going to do is we're going to hit it with some CA glue. Hopefully that'll just fill that crack. I'm really not that worried about it coming apart right there because of that. It is just kind of a pain. And if the blank that you were turning, I don't know, if you were parting off near there, that could cause problems where it just kind of could break off. In this case, it's not like the crack goes all the way through the blank or anything. So it's probably not that big of a deal, but I really don't want it there, you know. And I don't think this is going to really fill it and completely hide it necessarily. This is more just to kind of give it a little bit of support and I don't know, see what happens basically. So I got to turn this light on. It's not totally blown out. So right there. So I'm just gonna, this is the Starbond Super Fast Thin. Just want to kind of try and fill in along this line where that kind of crack where I could feel that was. This stuff should seep in pretty well. The Super Fast Thin is super water thin, and it tends to kind of soak down into cracks and things like this. It's a good versatile CA glue. Let that kind of sit for a second there. And I mean, all these joints are probably, none of the bonds here are fabulous. I haven't hit it with any CA glue anywhere else so far. Just kind of wanted to, I'm doing some testing here. I want to see how this will go, kind of thing. Not a bad idea to just douse the entire blank basically with thin CA. All right, I'm going to spray the top. That's only going to cure the surface though, just to let you guys know. It was flipping off. It was shooting CA at me. Shouldn't have turned it on that fast. Okay. I'm just going to let it kind of sit for a second before I start turning into it. Now, we may run into wet CA glue in the inside of this, so sometimes you might need to wait, even though this is a fast setting CA glue, for it to fully cure up. You might have to sit there for about 20 minutes. I'm not going to wait. I think we're going to be okay, and I'm not really going to cut that far into this thing anyway, but just to kind of let you know. Julie's here. What's up? Yeah, metals, yeah, they do. They can expand and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. The nice thing about Alumilite Clear Slow Set is it doesn't get as hot as your typical epoxy. So I think that it's not as problematic a lot of times in that case, but you never know. And in this case, aluminum, I don't know that's kind of a long shot saying that it was like overheated because of the metal. Or that it really expanded, because I cast aluminum honeycomb all the time and it doesn't, it's a lot more metal than this and it doesn't overheat. So I don't know, a little bit smaller, pin blanks, but all right. Where'd my mask go? I lost my mask. Let's give it some more work here. Put the tool on the tool rest the right way. Let's get you guys zoomed out a little bit here. I'm going to turn that light off too. Turn the dust collector on too. I keep forgetting about that thing. I got CA glue on my tool rest. That's not good. Darn it. Easy fix though. Get a little bit of acetone, clean that right up. Fortunately, it takes the paint off too. Okay. Slowly but surely, we're going to get there, guys. Give this thing a little bit of wax. All right. Here we go. Okay, we've almost got it down to the bushing. All right, let's get you guys kind of over in here. See what we can see, maybe. The cord is hung up on something. There we go. It's looking good. We got a pretty big bunch of aluminum kind of right there. And again, you know, I wouldn't want to touch this because it's proud of the surface a little bit. There's some kind of sharp things. Wouldn't really want to be sticking my finger on there when it's spinning. But it's looking pretty cool. I like this little detail here. I think I want to get them a little bit thinner, but we're just kind of just going to round this over for the most part. So, looking good. Everything's going pretty good right now. So, what I want to do though right now, I feel like I'm yelling. That thing is so loud. At this point, I do want to hit it with some CA because there are some areas that are kind of a little bit, you know, proud of the resin surface. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll, like I said, I just want to take this down a little bit, and then we're just going to round it over. We're not doing much. It's kind of a no frills design. I'm not really into frills right now. So we're going to slow it down pretty slow, and I'm just going to kind of douse this thing. I really need it. I'm having trouble getting the CA glue to come out of this thing, so I'm going to open the top a little bit more, the tip. Oh, there we go. Hopefully that'll work better. Nope, I lost the chat. There you are. Is Richard out of here? Have a good one, man. All right. Just let that kind of think about itself for a minute. There's my scissors. Yeah, the swirls are, this is a really cool material. Oh, I totally forgot to mention, guys. I'll give you guys kind of a heads up. A little bit of a heads up, guys. Look what I got. Just haven't got them listed yet. We got a whole bag of these crinkles. Bag of crinkles. They're going to go up on my site. So it looks like there's 4 colors: gold, purple, red, and green. And these are the genuine, real deal, guys. They are made in Mexico. They are the real Mexican crinkle ornaments. So I'll have those things available. I don't know how many I have or how I'm going to sell them or how much they're going to be or any of that stuff yet. But I wanted to kind of give you guys a little sneak peek kind of thing. So be looking for those. All right, I'm just gonna hit this. It should be dry, but no harm in giving it a little bit of a jolt. And we'll get our tool rest back in here. So I'm gonna take it down just a little bit. Then we'll do our little round over and everything will be pretty cool. I think I'm liking that. Simple, but pretty nice looking. Still got that little crack thing, it looks like, but we're just gonna call it a design feature. Yeah, looking good. I'm digging it. What do you guys think about the shape of this thing? Put you guys right in front of it. It's looking pretty fabulous. Oh, I just kicked the thing. Pretty fabulous, I think. There. We haven't even polished it or done anything yet. Looking good. And it didn't even blow up yet. Oh! Alright, so let's get the tailstock out of the way here. So coming in, bringing this around, we need to get rid of that little nib thing on from the point of the live center. All right, I think we're good. Feels pretty solid. I don't know. I don't know. So let's do a little bit of sanding here. Hey, there's the Art. What's up, man? This is the first bottle stopper you've seen that you'd like to buy, or that you would buy. Nice. Sweet. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll have the little crinkles for sale soon. I just need to get them up, get pictures and get the listing and everything all settled up. All right, so let's do a little bit of sanding here. Let's start with, I think I'm done with my face mask. If it blows up at this point, then oh well. I think I can maybe start at 240. Let's try that. See what happens. And again, kind of be careful at this point sanding, you know, because there are some maybe sharp things sticking out. I think everything's all right, but just play it safe, you know, as much as you can. I'm going to switch to wet sanding. I like to do the first round dry because I want to make sure that I can get the tool marks out and I don't want to have to sit and dry it off and then keep going back and forth. So that's why I do it this way. It's kind of lazy. I mean, really, you're going to get the best results wet sanding resin from the start. But I think it'll be okay. That's pretty good. I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds here. I think I'll just do a little bit by hand just to make sure. What I've found is sometimes while you're holding it there, it can kind of vibrate a little bit. So sometimes it helps to just kind of give it a quick once over by hand. Sometimes, anyway. So we're going to be putting a CA finish on this. I want to make sure that all these kind of, you know, areas that are possibly unprotected, there may be even little gaps in there. I want to make sure that those are all covered up, protected and everything. One thing that I can actually think of that would be problematic with these specifically is if, you know, they're going to be around a bar, and depending, I don't know exactly, but wine or other alcohol type thing, beverages, if some of it seeped down in there, it actually could possibly react with, or, you know, like dissolve, or what am I trying to say? I can't think of the word. Make the paint come off, basically, on the crinkles, because denatured alcohol did. So it might not be a bad idea to seal something like this, just in case. And for anybody that didn't see the casting and fully understand what's going on with these things, I wasn't able to. Usually with aluminums and things like that, I'm going to soak them in acetone, but because of the paint that's on here, it would have just dissolved off. I couldn't do anything to the metal, and so it's a little bit, I would call it a little bit worse bond than normal, you know. And that's why these are a little bit difficult. And that's another thing, is I'm going to have to really think about when I list these things. There's going to have to be warnings all over the place, basically. Okay, so 220. I'm a little hesitant to wet sand before I put the CA glue on, even. I'd like to make sure that water doesn't get, like, seep into any areas like that. There is a kind of a crack in this thing. So I think we're going to do things slightly different than I normally would. We're going to seal this up first completely and put kind of a layer over it. I don't know. I don't exactly know how this is going to work, but we're going to douse it again. We might be able to see 220 grit scratches when we're done. Let's do a test. I've sanded that up to 220, 240 technically. Let's just put a CA finish on this thing and see if we can see those scratches. I don't know. I usually would take resin up to like or up to like 600, 400 to 600, you know, maybe 1,000 even. Just to make sure that there's no scratches that you can see under the finish. But let's just put a finish on this and see what we get, basically. So I've put one kind of coat on with the super thin. Typically I would use Mercury Thin Flex for my finishes, but I want to put a couple coats of this thin on so that it kind of soaks into, let's get this thing out of the way, soaks into any cracks or crevices. So we're going to do that first. Then we'll put on some Thin Flex. Another finish that I've had pretty good results with, and I could, you know, use it on this, is this Craft Coat stuff. It has a little bit longer working time. You don't have the issues that CA glue has. It's basically just a waterborne urethane finish. I think honestly you could probably use I think it's similar to any waterborne urethane finish, but you know, that stuff, I don't know if there's a difference or not, but that stuff worked pretty good. I was pretty happy. It does work a little differently. I think CA's probably, you can get CA glue on a bunch of coats and get it totally finished faster than that stuff. So in most cases, like, I'm not going to switch to that for pens. I think it's easier just to use CA for typical finishes, but if you're doing larger things like handles, where you may or may not have enough time to get, you know, your typical CA finish on, that Craft Coat stuff's a pretty decent alternative. It could work for you. Put the tool away. All right, so now we're going to switch to the Mercury Thin Flex. and start layering up a few coats of actual what I consider like the finish. I just want to feel the surface of this, see how it feels. It's doing okay. Make sure there's no obvious areas that have like a crack in it. The mercury thin flex will fill and seep into things as well. So I think we're good. All right. Let's get our little paper towels ready. And so I'll probably do about the same kind of, pretty similar to what I usually do. Do 4 coats, sand, and then 4 more, and then polish it up and see what happens. See how it looks. We're running a little late today. I'm glad you were able to catch the stream. Nice. I want to get back down to Australia and New Zealand. I went there once and it was so awesome. I would like to visit again. There's a lot of places I'd like to go. Lots and lots. So much to see. Not during lockdown. But we'll beat this soon, and then we'll be back to traveling around and seeing everybody, seeing cool places. Wow, this thing's looking pretty cool. Let's stop it and show you guys. Let's get you a little zoom. Get you a better angle on it too. Look at that. Pretty fancy. Digging it. Still see that crack though, unfortunately. There's that little flaw. Like I said, it's a design, what do they call it? A design thing. I don't know exactly what caused that though. But it does look like the crinkles, and so like the expansion or movement of some sort. And actually I can kind of see a few other things over here too. I don't know. Pretty cool looking though, either way. And it didn't blow up, so design feature, that's what it is. It's a design feature, guys. Remember that. If you list your pens or whatever, it's not a flaw, it's a design feature. One of a kind. All right, let's see, I think I put 3 or so coats on. Let's do one more and then I'll just give it a little sanding. Although I'm getting it on quite smoothly, it looks like, so that's good. One more. And I don't know if, my thinking for sanding in the middle is that I'll just take down some ridges, you know, and then put 4 more layers on that are, I should probably zoom this out. Put, 4 more coats on that are hopefully going on even smoother. That's my theory. But I know there's a lot of people that just put on lots of coats and then just sand it, all at once. So I don't know. I don't know what's best or whatever, but this is the way that I usually do it. All right, so a little bit of, I need to find some 400 paper. And I'm just going to dry sand this kind of in the middle coat stage. Oh. Just want to smooth that surface out, get any kind of ridges. We got a couple ridges right there. I'm going to turn the fan on while I'm dry sanding these things. I don't really need CA dust in my face. All right, that ought to be pretty good. Just got a couple little ridges here and there. No big deal. We'll put on 4 more coats. And we'll be home free. Give it a polish and see how that looks. Like I said, this is kind of an experiment. I don't know. In theory, we should be okay with 240 grit scratches in it that we sanded it up to. Because in my brain, you know, I would typically, if I was doing just a normal woodworking project, putting polyurethane or something, some sort of finish on, I'm going to sand at 240 maybe 320. So I'm hoping that the 240 grit scratches don't really show up. That's the theory anyway. We'll see. Dozed off. Oh man. Have a good one, Sarah. Thanks for joining the fun. Happy accident. I have that t-shirt. Almost thought about wearing it today too. Then I thought, nah, I'll just wear my shirt that I've been wearing till it's too dirty to wear anymore. There's 2 coats. Oh man, Monday already. Whew. Segmented bowls as quilting in wood. Lots of design features. Yeah, that's true. It's true. There's all kinds of places where design features can be. And usually the only people that actually know that you're full of crap are like other pen turners, whatever turners, you know, they're like, yeah, design feature, But you could totally sell somebody on this. Oh, wow, yeah, I meant to do that. You'd be like, wow, you're amazing. You're like, I know, I don't think I could do it again. One of a kind. It's all about how you sell your pieces. The description of it. All right, so I think we should be pretty good here. We got some finish on it. I'm gonna start sanding with 400 again. Dry real quick, just to kind of make sure that I've gotten all the little ridges and things out. I'm going to reverse the lathe and just work on the top here. generally recommend using a high-powered light when you're doing this kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to see ridges and stuff, but I don't want to blow the camera out. And I can usually approximate things pretty good, but for best results, just shine as much light as you can on the situation. Okay, so I think we're good. Switch over to wet sanding now. Get my little wet sanding bucket out. Can't forget the sham wow. Sham whoa. And actually this goes this way. Actually, first thing I need to do is I need to change this water out because it's nasty. We want some fresh water. We want to make sure that our experiments and tests are good. Really wish I had running water back in my area. All this walking, oh. It does become a pain though if you keep forgetting things up at the front of the shop. Definitely walked a lot less when I was working in a 2-car garage. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna get some gloves on because I really like doing that when I'm wet sanding. So we've already done 400 grit. Let's move up to the 600. And we'll be on to the polishing papers. Design features triple the price. Yeah, I know. It's true. All right, 600 grit. I think I'm actually going to switch. It's a little bit easier just to do it on the bottom here. Again, you got to watch out with CA finishes. You don't want to sand through. Just want to do enough to take those previous grit scratches out and then move on. Kind of trying to go easy on it here. Okay, move up to the polishing pads. I'm going to wipe that off. Make sure we don't have any 600 grit junk going on. And this is the Zona polishing paper. It's about 750 grit, I want to say. Somewhere in that neighborhood. This bushing's kind of flopping around because I didn't have the right washer. It usually wouldn't do that. Still did its job. Probably be a lot easier if I just took it off. I don't really want to stop at this point though. All right, and then the gray polishing paper. It's about 1150 or so, I want to say. And last but not least, we're going with some blue. Is that a blue? Yeah, it's a blue. I'll just give it a couple seconds here with the blue. And we'll do some buffing. We'll see how we did. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Let's wipe it off. So far, so good, I think. So I usually just leave it on the mandrel for buffing. Take it off once and then, but you usually just use that. Another way to go is you could just use a 3/8/16 bolt. If you wanted, can work. Kind of bright. Let me get my mask on. All right, first step, triple E wheel. Going a little fast. Woo. Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. It's already looking good just with the triple E. Look at that. I mean, really. Huh. That's not even polished yet. This thing's kind of mystical looking. One thing I'm really happy with we used macro pearl, I'm pretty sure, with this. And that's looking pretty cool in there. Huh? Not too shabby. What do you think of that macro pearl? It's pretty wicked. Okay, so we're good on these two wheels. Let's go over to the lathe. We'll do our car polish step over there. Spin you guys back around. Let's see the setup. Just getting this thing kind of out of the way. Okay, let's get our wet sanding junk out of the way. I mean, I could really just leave it as it is and probably call it good. Now, I haven't really, inspected this with kind of a magnifying glass, but I think it's pretty good as it is. Let's give it that final high gloss. I think I'm going to put some gloves on at this point. Took the other ones off because they were wet. Okay. And a bunch of people have been asking me about this whole setup. So I think the easiest way to go, I got this from McMaster Carr. And the reason I didn't get a Beal wheel, because they actually have the string buff. The problem was when I was looking, they weren't open. the lockdown, I think they shut down for a while. But they have the string buff, and it works with, they have like a whole mandrel system and all this kind of stuff. That's actually, I'm using their mandrel to, it's like a buffing mandrel thing. Let me actually stop real quick. I don't, technically I need to kind of get going here, but I want to show you guys what's going on here with this mandrel setup that I got. So I got the tapered mandrel. I just lost the two nuts, but I got this tapered mandrel and the string buff from McMaster Carr. All right, and then this mandrel is what the tapered mandrel goes on to, but this is a Beal product, and then they have another system, kind of similar, but their wheels just kind of have a bolt. Do I have one? I don't know if I have one. I don't have one set up, but you can buy them from Beal, and frankly, this is the easiest way to go, and they have a string buff as well. So that's probably the easiest way to go, but McMaster Carr has them, and you can just put these on a buffing, wheel. They're like a 5/8, I think. Now I got to find the set screws. Shoot. Found one. Well, I'd have to just go with one set screw on this for now. So that's the setup. But I think that Beal is taking orders, because somebody that was asking about it said that they placed an order. I totally lost the other set screw. There it is. I found it. I have really good eyesight for finding things. It's not too bad considering it was on a black mat. Okay. So now we got everything. I've explained what's going on. I'm going to be using some Meguiar's 105. I don't know. I would imagine that any high-end grit polish is going to do about the same. The way that I do things, this one seems to be working good for me, so I'm sticking with it. Meguiar's 105. I just kind of wipe it on there and buff it off. I think it's looking pretty good. So Let me get behind the camera here. So here's our little hardware. Again, this is stainless bottle stoppers hardware. Ooh, that is fancy. So let me look at this a little bit closer. So the question was, can you see the 220 grit scratches? And frankly, yeah, maybe. I don't know. There are some scratches. This is definitely not the best finish I've ever put on something, but it's still pretty glossy. I would still probably recommend going up to 400 at least. 400 to 600 is probably going to be a better bet for that. Switch back to the intro view. So what do you guys think? I'm okay. What do you think of this thing? It's pretty cool looking. Not a bad piece. Get my face out of the way. There we go. I don't know. If this camera never wants to pick anything up. Maybe like that. Just thinking about it. Oh, it's really trying. This camera sucks. Anyway, I like it. I think it turned out good. So I have high hopes about the sphere blank. I think with a combination of not going too hard on it and a little bit of CA glue here and there, I think that I should be able to turn this. And I'm going to use that Carter sphere jig on that one again. I wanted to kind of give it another test, basically. I got pretty good results with it last time. The time before that, a couple times before that, didn't like it too much. But I think that I had the cutter too high. I think it was not set up properly. Thinking Wednesday I might start this. I'm not sure. I still have that. I want to turn that pen that Russell gave me, the pen blank, the COVID-19 pen blank with the little virus guys on it. I want to turn that sometime. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'll have to kind of check out what's going on with my schedule. But tentatively, I think that I want to jump into this one maybe on Wednesday. So hopefully we can do that unless something weird happens. And then on Friday, we'll go back to doing a little bit of resin casting. But anyway, guys, I actually am I'm not late yet. So I think I should probably shut things down, get cleaned up here, and then head home before my wife gets mad at me. So anyway, guys, Wednesday we should be doing another stream probably around 3 o'clock on Wednesday this time. Thanks for showing up a little bit late. I needed to get things done early. There was things that I knew that if for some reason this went late, I wasn't going to be able to get it done and I would have been mad. So had to get all the work done first. But yeah, anyway, don't forget to check out that video. If you haven't seen my recent video, I got a link here for you guys. And I'll put a link down in the description later on for the replay. Head over there, and there's in that video, not only do I show you guys the graffiti technique using these molds, but these molds, there's a set of molds available for giveaway. So one lucky winner will win that. Make sure that when you go down in the comments, you'll have to check out the video. So the people that haven't seen the video, I'm not going to tell you what the secret keyword is, but you need to copy it exactly. And that's at the end of the video. So go check that one out. It's a pretty cool technique also, the graffiti thing, and these molds make it really super simple. So anyway, guys, pretty happy with these doohickeys, the crinkles. So I have bags of these guys, and I will get these guys up soon. And again, they'll come with a warning if you're casting them. You know, they're not the best bond, and you really need to be careful. Take a lot of steps to make sure that you're not your blanks aren't flying apart. But I think that as long as you are careful, I think that you should be able to get good results with them. So anyway, guys, have a great night. I will see you all on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. We'll do another another something. We'll be turning something tentatively this sphere, and I might start that tomorrow and get things kind of going on it so that we're kind of already halfway there type thing. So hopefully we can maybe get it done. I want to see, I think I'm more interested, and I think the interesting part about turning this is going to be, can we get through it with the sphere jig, with a blank that's maybe not the most awesome adhesion with the stuff inside. So have a great night, guys. Thanks for joining the show tonight. Thanks to Anna for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys all on Wednesday. Have a great night.